Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the second installment of the Tomorrow Club Summer Trips preparation. I'm glad that you've been able to join us today. I want to make an introduction of who I am. My name is Larry Ferguson. I am a trainer for Tomorrow Clubs. I've been involved with Tomorrow Clubs since about 2004 when I went on my first trip to Ukraine, Zaporozhye, Ukraine, and I've been involved ever since. I'd like to take this time right now for the group to go through and introduce themselves, each person introduce themselves and say something about themselves, and then say what made you decide to come on this Tomorrow Club's trip. So we'll take a little bit of time and then we'll come back and continue on with the training that we're doing. Well, welcome back. Let's go ahead and actually start and do some prayer here. Lord, we just ask that you would be with each person that's committed to go on these trips, and I pray, God, that you would work in their hearts, help them to recognize that it's you and only you that sustain us and give us the ability to serve, and I pray, God, that they would be looking at themselves and looking at the future for what you might have in store for them. I pray for the children's hearts that we're going to be presenting English and actually the gospel too. I just pray, God, that you would give your Holy Spirit through this team and pray that they would be able to share your love with these children. In Jesus' name, amen. I want to thank you all for your commitment to be involved in a Tomorrow Club's trip. I think that it's a tremendous commitment, but I think the dividends that are paid for now and in eternity are immeasurable. So I thank you so much for your time, your energy that you've gone and placed in this commitment of going to the summer trips for Tomorrow Clubs. What are we going to cover tonight? Last time we went over kind of a 50,000 foot view of the responsibilities of each team going on a Tomorrow Club's trip, and then we had a question and answer. I've put together a PowerPoint and a video of the things that we covered last time, so if anybody missed the last meeting, they'll be able to get that, because I will distribute this PowerPoint to the leaders, and they'll distribute it to the participants that are involved here. This meeting, we're going to take some time on spiritual preparation. I think that's one of the most important things to go on a trip, and sometimes it's the last thing that people do when they're going on a missions trip. We'll also talk about the details of the trip and talk about the responsibilities, explain some of the responsibilities of each one of the jobs that are related to the trip. Next time we'll look at the English curriculum itself, the songs that we're going to be singing, the dramas, which are silent mimes, and the skits, which are very fun little things that we do with the kids. I'll also be talking about how to share your faith. You'll get an opportunity to do that as you go out and talk to different people in the villages, and it'll be a great time for you to be able to share your faith. Now, the goals as far as what you're aiming to accomplish through the participation in the English camp is to start or strengthen an existing Tomorrow Club. In this case, for those of you that are going to Romania, there is an existing club there, and we are going to be strengthening that club. The next thing is that we're going to share the love of Christ with the children. I think in some cases that's probably the most important thing that you can do, Children can read people very easily, and they understand whether they are loving them and caring for them. And I think sharing the love of Christ is one of the things that um, is natural and is a good way to be a predecessor of sharing the gospel with these children, which will happen during the week. Also, we're going to encourage the local church. Each one of the Tomorrow Clubs will be working with a local church. And this camp that you're going to is no different. It is actually working with a church that is a Baptist church in Romania. And so you'll be encouraging those groups as well. A mission trip is a little different because there's a dimension that's unique and unseen, a spiritual dimension, and to proclaiming the gospel. Everything that happens has a spiritual dimension. It's just whether we recognize it or not. But in particularly a missions trip, particularly like this, has a very strong spiritual dimension to it. We can see that in Romans 1:16. It says, "For I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek." I think the phrase that I want to look at there is where it says, "For it is the power of God." And if you think about the power of God, if you just take a second and think about that, God stood on the edge of time and breathed and created this world. And his son came to this world and split time and space and gave us life and changed the course of history. So it's the power of God in the gospel of Christ. And so this is something that would lead us to understand that there is definitely a spiritual dimension to the things that we're doing. And also in 2 Corinthians 10:14, it says the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. We need to depend on God for the spiritual part of this preparation. And it's not something that we should take lightly. Your heart is important to the success of the trip, because there's a spiritual dimension that actually is vital to a trip success. Part of it is confession, and your confession to God of sins that you have, and confession to man, the things that may have going wrong between you and your relationships with someone. The Bible is an important part of understanding where your heart is. It's a powerful tool to understand your heart. Reading the Bible actually exposes your heart, exposes your motives. In Hebrews 4:12, it talks about the Word of God is sharper and powerful, quicker than any two-edged sword, and it's able to divide asunder the soul and spirit. It's able to tell the motives of the heart. So the Word of God is powerful. It has a powerful element to it that's unexplained. And I always like to have a verse for the trip. And one of the verses that I use, and I suggest that you use it, but you can pick your own, is Deuteronomy 31:6. And it says, "Be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he it is that doeth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee." That's an important thing to know, because there's a lot of things that are unknown in some of these trips, and you need to rely on God for those unknown things. Prayer is an important part of a spiritual preparation, your soul searching and talking to God about the children's hearts, that they will be open to the gospel, and that the things that are said would have eternal significance. Nothing significant spiritually happens without prayer. Peter Danico, who was the founder of Slavic Gospel Mission, said, "Much prayer, much power; little prayer, little power." So it really indicates one of the things is that prayer is an important element to any trip. Praying and asking God to provide and asking God to go ahead of the trip. It's so important um, in the success of a trip. I would suggest that you take some time now and list some of the prayer requests that you would like to see happen in your team. What would you like to see happen through this team that you have, and what would you like to see accomplished? And then I will come back and we will keep going. Thanks.
You say that we're effective for the reason that we're going. I seem to make an impact. I think one, I think that God would show us something new about ourselves, like even in a spiritual way. That's what
Well, the context that something context we can send the gospel to them that they can share it for the whole rest of the family.
Okay, Greg, can you repeat that because her voice is on the side and I'm not getting it.
Yeah, no problem. That as we share our faith with the kids, that they're able to share the same and share their faith, that faith with their families. They would share what they've learned with their families.
Is that the way? Is that correct or
Sure.
okay?
But their hearts will be open and willing to accept it.
Okay, Greg, you're gonna have to say it again because it's breaking up.
That their hearts are open to receive what we're sharing.
Anything else? You got 4. How about after you leave? What are you looking for after you leave?
What? I'm sorry. What did you say, Larry?
How about after you leave?
Okay.
What what do you hope? I mean, really, when you leave someplace, um, what do you hope to leave behind? Anything?
I hope we leave a maybe, and this is just me speaking part of the team, that we spark an interest or passion or desire for the truth of maybe God's word, stories.
Great. Okay, those are good. I'll send this out to you guys, and you can pray for things. And I would suggest too that you pray together, um, pray for each other, because this is a particularly vulnerable time for you guys. Okay. Okay, for travel, here's the things that are needed, and this is probably for you more, Greg. You need to make your passports, and you need to make a copy of your passports. Okay, so in case you lose it, then you'll have it. Also, there's a couple releases that are going to be needed. And this is something I'm not sure how this is going to work, but whoops, let me back up. There'll be a medical release and also an insurance release. And then if there's any minors, there's going to need to be a release. That'll be while you're in country, kind of when you'd be under the small club's umbrella. So those things are important. Insurance, I don't know how you guys work that. We're not actually working out your anything with your travel at all. So you need to have travel insurance and also some kind of medical insurance. Money. I would suggest $200 or less for souvenirs, and they'll convert it when they're there. Electronics. A phone, if you're going to take a phone along, you need to have international calling on it if you plan to call back. I don't know if that's important to you or not. A European adapter, there's special adapters that actually take that don't. It doesn't have the regular socket that we have here in the United States. So, by the way, there is Wi-Fi in the place that you're. Okay. Something that else that I need from you guys is an emergency contact list. Maybe someone's doing that, and then a point of contact back in the States should anything happen. A participant list, I'd like to have that. The names, first and last name, picture of the team, so that we can send it to them and they can pray for them. Cell numbers, email, addresses, T-shirt size. We also actually provide a T-shirt, so you need. Again, I'll send this to you. Rooming preferences, who you want to stay with. Those are some of the things that we need. And then, of course, we need your flight itinerary so that we can coordinate the people picking you up on the European line. The person who will be picking you up from the airport is this guy. He's the pastor. He's the pastor of the church. Let's see if I can see. You guys can see him. This is him right here. This is actually the guy he's the pastor, and his wife is the director of the camp. Okay. So that's who's going to be picking you up. Also, Olga Zykova, she may accompany you when they pick you up. The camp, the church is actually where the camp will be. You'll be staying at a camp, okay? And the pastor will be taking you back and forth from the camp to the church. Here's the picture of here's the camp itself. I'll open it up as soon as it opens up. There you go. And if you want to peruse through there and see the camp, this is actually where you're going to be. That's where you're going to be staying. It's a pretty nice camp. You'll be staying in a place called I think it's called the Barnabas House. Okay, and I'll give you a picture of this in a second so you can see what it looks like. Okay. That's where you're going to be staying. If you can see that now. It's pretty nice. Looks like a pretty nice place to me. Um, and again, this will be hooked to your PowerPoint, and the PowerPoint will be. I'll send it out to you guys so you can take a look at this then about where you're staying. So the rooming, there's one 3-man room, and then there's a 6 2-man room, and there's Wi-Fi in there too. So it's pretty nice, I must say. Okay, for the food, breakfast will be prepared at the Barnabas House, what I just showed you, and you need to give an idea to Greg, and then Greg, you need to pass it on to me of what you'd like to have for breakfast. So they're going to bring the food in, and you guys will be preparing, or the staff will be preparing, but you need to give an idea of what you'd like to eat if you have a special diet. Okay?
Gotcha.
Then, yeah, if you have any questions, you can interrupt me. Do you have any questions?
What are our options as far as, I mean,
I would say what you normally eat for breakfast, eggs, bacon, cereal, fruit, what you typically eat for breakfast.
Coffee?
Coffee, absolutely. The lunch and dinner will be at the camp, actually where the church is, and the evening meal will be at the church without the kids. So the kids will be there at lunch, but in the supper time they won't be there. The evening meal will be ordered in. Okay, so again, you need to provide just the things that you'd like to have for the evening meal.
What if, Larry, what if we wanted to eat traditional food from there? Like we said, hey, every meal that you guys would.
You could ask them for that, and I'm sure they bring it in.
Okay.
Okay. There will be a time on Saturday to actually get traditional meals.
Okay.
Here's some general notes about the facilities that I got after our last meeting. As you can, whoops, let me get back up here. There's about 80 members of the church. There's 7 young couples. They started a Tomorrow Club there in the fall of last year. There's 40 kids that attend, and only 8 of them have Christian parents. So most of the kids that come to the Tomorrow Club are unchurched. And I would say more than 50% of the kids that come to camp will be unchurched. Okay. The Romanian team will be about 10 to 15 people that will help you. You will work with a Romanian helper and a Romanian translator. Each one of you will have a translator and a helper. Okay. Sunday there's 2 church services, one at 10 and one at 6. So the American team should be able to participate in both. Okay. They'll have some time between the services to do preparation, and then also in the evening there'll be some time, or there'll be also some time in the evening to go and play sports with the youth. Also go to Gypsy. There's a Gypsy ministry. Okay, I don't know if you know anything about the Roma Gypsies, but okay, all right. Sorry about that. They're a group of people, a subculture that basically they have their own language. They're ostracized by virtually everybody. Nobody pays any attention to them. They're thought of as thieves. They all send some kids into a group of people to distract the group, and then they'll go and rob the people. Okay, so that's really, a desperate group of people in Eastern Europe. Okay. Okay, the chapel that you're going to be in, there's a large room. Okay, this is the church itself. Um, and there'll be a projector and a screen that'll be provided for you guys. And the general meetings will be in the chapel. The chapel is very large, and um, so there won't be any problem with having too many kids. The classrooms, there'll be 4 in the basement of the church. There'll be one large room and then 3 smaller rooms. Okay. Supplies. You need to bring a whiteboard, a little whiteboard, just a small one, and markers, because there won't really be. There's no guarantee. There's no whiteboards in the rooms. And then there are flip charts that are available in the rooms. Okay, so your stuff, the stuff that you have at Barnabas House and the stuff that you have at the church will be locked in. They'll be locked in. You can lock them up, so you don't have to worry about anything being stolen at either place. So when we take our supplies when we actually go from the camp to the church, camp is where we're staying. Church is actually where the camp is. There's a place to lock stuff at both of those locations so that you don't have to worry about any of your stuff. The English curriculum, we will provide that, and we will also provide some supplies for you for that. And I've included the link here to where that curriculum is: the beginner, the advanced, and the beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And so you can take a look at that. It's linked, and we will provide you that curriculum. That's some of what we're going to be going over more closely next time. The actual curriculum itself, what's involved in that. Inside the curriculum, you'll see that there's actually the participants' responsibility, and when they say hope there, they mean tomorrow clubs. But what's provided for you on the right-hand side of this page. This page is on the inside of the curriculum, and the participants' responsibility, what you can bring to teach the class, and what we will provide for you guys to be able to teach the class. Okay. So that's actually linked here in the PowerPoint that I'll send out. Okay, the sports and the games that are going to be provided will be responsible for all the sports and the games. They actually do not want to do any sports and games themselves. They want us to do them. So I'll give you ideas for sports and games. Giant volleyball is always fun. Dodgeball is great. There's a lot of different games that we do. The church is in the center of the town, but it has a large play area in the back, large enough that you can do almost any sport that you want to. The Jesus movie. This is actually one of the things that we do on a regular basis. We show the Jesus movie. That can be downloaded, and I'll download that and provide a link to you guys so that you can utilize that these days. I would like every one of you guys to watch the children's Jesus movie before you go. The reason being is because when they show it, they're going to show it in Hungarian, and you're not going to understand anything. And you'll have an opportunity to talk to your kids later on, and you'll need to understand what they were shown, because right after that, though, there's a time for those kids to come and talk to you about Christ if they want to trust Him. So you need to know what they were shown so you can be relevant for what they're asking and the questions they're asking. Do you have any questions?
Yes. What's the dress attire? How do we need to dress?
The dress attire is you can not extra short shorts, but like knee length shorts is fine. T-shirts are fine. For the for actually going to the church meetings, casual dress, and the women should wear dresses, and married women should have a headscarf. And that's actually in some of the notes that I passed along to you guys earlier. Okay, everybody is going to teach an English class, okay? And everybody should be ready to give their testimony in front of the group. And everybody should be ready to do an outreach. And that's something that we'll do over that. We'll go over that thing. So I'm going to go over, the next part of this is going to be, we're going to go over the different assignments or different jobs that there are on the trip. And I'll explain them, and you decide what you want to do, okay? Each one of these takes time, and each one of these is an important part of the trip. The English curriculum leader, basically that person coordinates the purchasing of supplies for the team's English lessons, okay? So, and for each person, so the supplies, that person kind of, anything to be purchased, they purchase it, they put it together in the groups, in the bags. And what I like to do, what you're going to get from us, okay, you will get, at the beginning of the week, you will get all the handouts and extra things that you need, flashcards that were indicated in the front part of the curriculum. You'll get that at the beginning of the week. Each day will be in a separate plastic bag. Okay, so day one, you'll have all the supplies you need from our side on day one. But that's not everything that you need. You'll actually need to provide some additional items. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
The luggage leader. The luggage leader is responsible to coordinate the team's luggage and transportation. That's not as easy as you think it is, especially if there's any luggage that gets lost. Unfortunately, that does happen from time to time, but hopefully it doesn't happen this time. Music leader. They'll be responsible for preparing and leading camp songs. And, of course, all the Americans, the camp songs come up in English. It's expected for the American team to go up and join in front of the group to help with the motions to the songs. Okay, so all Americans will be there, but somebody will have to point to kind of leading the songs. That person is also responsible for preparing and leading songs for the church service. There'll be probably 2 songs that you need to prepare for the church service. Okay? You have any questions about that?
Yeah, what kinds of songs?
The songs that I sing at church, the church songs that we sing, I usually sing "You Are My All in All." I don't know if you know that song or not. any worship song, would be for the church service. For the kids, it would be songs that are have a lot of motion to it. I don't know if you know "You're the King of the Jungle." I can teach you that song, but that's one of the songs that will be taught, or you go in front of the group to teach the kids. They like songs with motions, and I can provide those songs for you if you want.
Larry, for the two church services, is that two different audiences for those services, or is it the same group of people coming back for an evening service?
It'll be some will be overlap, and we'll go over that a little bit. In the first church service, they want an introduction to the team. They want one song, and they want a sermonette, like 30 minutes from a male leader. That's what they'll want. The second service, they want introductions, they want a song, and then they want testimonies. They ask me for those two things, and so that's not going to be the same in both. I'm not going to do the same thing in both services. Does that answer your question, Jason?
Yes.
Okay. The sports leader will be responsible to prepare sports and games for the camp. And the team or photographer will be responsible to take pictures and videos for the team. Responsible to coordinate and gather all the photos in one place. And then responsible to post the slides presentation if you want. I know our church always wants a slide presentation after the trip, so that's something else. An AV computer guy, anybody that's computer literate should be kind of responsible to do that kind of stuff. Get the Jesus movie working with the sound system. And then a daily devotional. Every day in the morning will be a time when you guys will all get together, and it'll be expected for one person to give a 5-minute devotional. And so this person will coordinate those, and then also coordinate the testimonies for the church service, and then the preaching leader be responsible to coordinate one 20-minute sermonette. Any question there?
The devotionals, are those for just our team, or is that for everybody?
No, it's just for the team.
Okay, gotcha.
The team meeting is right at the beginning of the day, and it's just something to kind of encourage each group.
Oh, all right.
We talked about this. We talked about your responsibilities. This is the same slide I had last time. What your responsibilities will be, what you're supposed to bring along. English lesson supplies for that. Your drama skits supplies for that. Your song supplies. This could be a PowerPoint overhead. Puppets, if you want to do that, supplies for that. Sports, you need the supplies. Actually, they have no sporting equipment at the camp, so we'll have to bring that along. You need to bring gifts for the children, interpreters, helpers, and host homes. You're not in a host home, so you don't have to worry about that. Cultural Day. During a cultural day, they have an American Day, Romanian Day. During that time, there's history, food, and then sports. There's usually three stations, and then someone will man, or a number of people will man each station, and they'll split the whole camp into 3 groups, and then 15 minutes at each station, you'll go over peanut butter and jelly, how that's great food. You'll go over history. I can provide that information for you, and then I do wiffle ball, just actually let them hit the ball and just run around. I don't try to teach them baseball. That's very difficult to try to teach baseball. Jesus movie, we talked about that. Okay, and an outreach. we will actually go through how to share your faith without an argument, but you should be ready to do that. Here's the packing list, and the list is here on the website. And if you want to open it and look at it, you can. That's the things you need to bring. Here's the clothing. For the church, married women will wear a scarf, a head covering. Women and girls need to wear a dress or skirt. Men should wear dress or casual pants, no jeans. At church, comfortable shoes and sandals for walking, tennis shoes. So that list is actually linked to the PowerPoint as well. Resources. You need to take note of this resource, which is the Tomorrow Club's website, trip information. And then there's a place where you can look at past videos of past trips. You can see what that looked like, so you can, and then a daily schedule. And I have linked that schedule, and then we're going to go over that schedule here in a little bit. Okay, here's the schedule. So Saturday you'll arrive, and then you'll have dinner, and then you'll settle into your Bible at the camp. Okay. Then Sunday, you'll leave at 9:30 for the camp for church, and at 10 o'clock is the first church service. And the American team requirement, the introduction of the team, one song, and message 1/2 hour. Lunch, team meeting, meet the Romanian team, prepare for camp, divide into groups, and then second church service, American team requirements, introduction of teams, one song, and testimonies. And then the evening meeting. So that's Sunday. Monday, you're going to go to the camp, and it'll be at 8:30 when you start. We'll register the kids. You actually need to bring some name tags so that you can put the name tags on the kids and get them. So that's something we need. They actually, this is a little different than the last time I showed you guys what the schedule is. The Romanian leader, Ivada, has actually changed some of this stuff. So they're going to have the first half hour, they're going to have a musical practice. And that practice is for a presentation that they're going to do on Sunday. That'll be the day after we leave, but it's for the parents. They're going to invite all the parents to the church to see the musical. So it's a way to get the kids in the church, kids' parents in the church. Then we'll do sports, dodgeball, relay races, Bible, fun time. This is the blind folk yogurt. Basically, we get like 4 kids up there, blindfold them, and then have them feed yogurt to each other. It's a little messy, but they like that. This is the English time. They're only going to have one English time, so you have 1 hour instead of having 2. Now you're going to have 1 session. During that time, you're going to teach a lesson, but you're also going to prepare for the Parents' Day, which is going to be on Friday. Do you have any questions about that?
Nope, we're good.
Okay, then sports again. Again, the American team is going to need to do all the sports, more musical practice, and then the evening meeting. There we're going to do Who's the King of the Jungle. There'll be a snack, and then there'll be time to get ready for the next day, supper at camp, and then we'll have fellowship time with the remaining leaders. Tuesday is very much the same. The only really different things are there'll be different things that we do. This is the day that we'll actually do the Cultural American Day, and that is in the afternoon. these things, drama, chasm, the different thing, dungaree. We'll go over those next time, so you have a specific of what we're going to, what you can do. You can present your own if you want, but that's up to you. After supper on Tuesday, it looks like Iboda is going to come and actually go over, walk around the Barnabas house and tell about her experiences during the communist time, miracles and things that she saw took place during the time of when they were persecuted, because they were heavily persecuted in Romania. It was one of the most oppressive dictatorships and communist reign in the former Soviet Union. I don't know if you remember the guy named Ceausescu or not. You probably are too young, except maybe one, to remember that guy. But he was when he was deposed from power, they took him, killed him, drug him through the streets because he was hated so much. It was very, very oppressive. And during that time, there was a persecuted church. They were thrown into prison. They were kept from actually going ahead in their jobs. They were, if you were a Baptist or Christian, you're actually seen as you're not going to get ahead. You're just you're, you're bad news. I've sat around and talked to so many people about the things that happened during Soviet time. It's just amazing the things that happened during those times. I'll give you an example. One of the guys, the pastors that I actually stayed with, his name is Pastor Petrenko, he told about how in Soviet times he was having meetings with young people, and that was a thing that you're not allowed to do. And he was teaching them about God and Jesus. And the KGB found out, and they said, "We're going to, you're gonna die on this day." And they told him, "You're gonna die right now on this day in like 3 weeks or a month in the future." And he said he, was petrified because he thought, "I'm gonna die." So he got his accounts all shortened up and did all the confession and everything he had to do. And they would send him a letter and say, "You've got 3 weeks, you've got 2 weeks, and count it down, okay, until it's actually getting ready to that day." And his kids were like out in the courtyard where he lived in the flat, in the old time Soviet flats, and there was things pushed from the back end that were almost hit his kids. And so the day came when he was supposed to die, and he actually went in the apartment, and he heard something, but he didn't go out. But then later on, he went out and looked, and here they tried to light the apartment on fire and tried to burn his apartment, but it didn't light. Now, what was interesting is he told this church service he told this in a church service, and the guy, there was a guy that stood up and said that story's true, because I was the KGB guy that was assigned to do that, and through Pastor Petrenko's ministry, since then I've come to Christ and now I follow Christ. So it was just amazing how those people were persecuted during the Soviet times. Okay, here's Wednesday. Sports, water balloons. You need to check the water balloons along and water balloon slingshots. I'll go over that later. But the kids love water balloon when we shoot water balloons way up in the air and then drop them down, and they have sheets and they all around the sheets and try to catch the water balloons from the water balloon slingshot. This is all fun time lunch. It's very much the same throughout each day. Not a lot of difference. It's going to be basically the same thing. What we'll do next time is we'll go into each one of these items that are assigned to the Americans to do, and we'll drill down into each of those things and get you the details on what you need to do. So basically, it's very much the same throughout the week. On Friday, there will be a Parents' Day, when the parents will come and the kids will show them what they have done for the week, what they've learned. I suggest that you teach the kids a song, or I taught them Hokey Pokey. They like that. People like the Hokey Pokey, and you get to dance, and they like that. And then you'll be Saturday will be breakfast, sightseeing, and then you'll be leaving on Saturday. So, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, let me finish up here. I hope you can. Let me see if I can do this. I'm trying to find the church so you can see the church. I think it's right here. Nope. I'll send you the link to the church so you can see what it's actually going to be. Here is, I think you'll enjoy this. This is actually some of the past trips that I've been at, and I think it'll give you a real good feel of what what you should expect. I don't want to do that. What you're going to expect at at camp. Let's see. If I can find it. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if you can hear this or not, but this is from last year. This is it's going to be a little jerky because it's one over the internet.
You call me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where feet may fail. And there I find you in the mystery, in oceans deep, nothing will stand. And I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours. You are mine. Your grace abounds in deepest waters. Your sovereign hand will be my guide. My feet may fail and fear surrounds me. You never fail, and you won't stop now. So I will call upon your skies without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the water wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the water wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters.
That guy died. That lady died.
Oh.
Keep my eyes above the waves. My soul will rest in your embrace. I am yours, and you are mine.
My name is Papa Victoria. My name is Mitrofan. My name is Gali. My name is Sultan Salim. My name is Latif. My name is Dimitrov. My name is Zelensky Maxim. My name is Gorashnik. My name is Kuchetin. My name is Kripani. My name is Fire. My name is Sudek Khaled.
Yeah, two of those people in there died. The older lady, she died, and the one older guy, he died between the time we were there and January. And we shared the gospel with both of those people, but neither one of them trusted Christ. So, I didn't know that the guy was going to die. Those people were going to die, but obviously God did. You have any questions? If not, I'm done.
I don't think so. I think we're good right now, right? Thank you.
Okay, we will
Okay.
talk to you in 2 weeks on Tuesday nights.